Welcome to another thrilling episode of the Inalienable Right Guys. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they're endowed with certain inalienable rights by
creepy Joe Biden thing.
we dub this potluck. We're going to try to take this time to express ourselves with a bunch of things. The world is moving so fast, and it's just churning and churning right before our eyes. I mean, it's unbelievable. The mistakes are being made at this rapid rate, and the checks and the balances, and really the bill ain't came in yet. I don't think it's far from coming in with this excessive spending, the border crisis, and the whole like. So me and Mark, we want to dub this the potluck because we want to throw in CRT, that what we call critical races theory, and we want to throw in a lot of other things that happening before our eyes, and we want to do it in a conservative way, in the most positive way, but yet a concerned way. So, what's on your mind, Mr. Mark?
Well, first of all, get here, try to get together. We hadn't done much lately, just a lot of stuff going on, of course. And, of course, a lot of stuff going on in the political world we hadn't had a chance to talk about. And get here, try to get set up, and our camera decides not to function for us. So we're having fun. So we're just having to use the camera on the laptop. But we're just going to try to roll through some things, and I'm going to try to we'll maybe do one whole video and then maybe do some split videos, like a lot of the YouTubers do. You see them do segments from like a podcast or whatever that they do, and so that's kind of what I think we're going to do with this, just so we can kind of get through all the stuff, because there is a bunch. But the first thing that I want to talk about,
Yes, sir,
is the pushback against all the CRT, the critical racist theory. We did a video on that not long ago, talking about it. Just talking about how bad it is. And I'm so glad that in the last couple of weeks or so since we did those videos, that you see people standing up and pushing back, especially parents. These school board meetings, they have been going to school board meetings and saying, we don't want this stuff.
right.
Especially when you have parents that maybe have adopted kids. So either they're, black or Hispanic and the kids are white, or they're white and the kids are black or Hispanic, whatever. And they're saying, I don't want my kids taught this. They're in some sort of mixed family. And it's like, no, you're not going to be teaching my kids that, one part of the family is the oppressor, and we're oppressing the rest of the family.
Yes.
That's just dumb. And, and you see so many, I've seen several, black people that stood up and said, hey, look, one guy's like, I think he said he had two different degrees, two different doctorates or something,
Yes.
And he's like,
How did I get this?
How did I get this? If this whole country is all, being oppressed by the white man and all that, then how did that happen? Which, obviously we talked about that in the last video, that there's, look at all these famous, high level, black people in our country that have done, whatever to get to the top in their fields and stuff. And yeah, if that was the case, they wouldn't even be there.
Something like I said, Kevin McCarthy said, and again, I ain't no big Kevin McCarthy fan, but he did say that the Democrat Party is the one brought you to KKK, Jim Crow, and all these segregation rules and laws that they trying to repackage to that they are now the non-racist party. They are the most liberated party. But when in essence they just repackaged this into critical race theory.
Exactly.
They are but they're doing it in a form where they really just taking away any progress that we have made as a nation of races, and come to the point where and try to reverse this from back to skin color instead of contest of character, instead of hard work and studying and reading and writing and learning about our true history of our country and moving on beyond it. For some reason, this is lucrative to them, profitable to them, that they can sustain their power. But it's so heinous to me. It's so heinous to take children's and to indoctrinate them and propagate them to turn it against their parents with this pandemic that hit us. I think the parents got to see for with their own eyes that they was doing this virtual learning, and when they was out of school and they was staying at home, they got to literally this is a grassroots movement. This is like the Tea Party movement. This is something serious. I mean, I've seen people's you know, at the expense of going to jail or whatever the government think he's big enough to do to them, they are not caring. They are seriously fighting for their country and for their liberty and their constitutional rights, and they're not trying to go back to that. That's you know, I can't understand that, Mark.
Yeah.
To go backwards into something that was, you know, a stain on our history. You want to take us back into that, and then the people that leading the charges are the most racist people. All this new administration right now that they have some people that on record of
being out
mhm,
racist.
like we ain't in a video where we can't go back and Google it, or we can't go back and look at 5 years worth of videos or tweets or whatever they done, as if they are someone virtuous now. And all of a sudden, it's all about getting even to me. You know, it's another way of reparation, but it's done backdoor wise, if you ask me.
Well, first of all, I want to say I saw a deal today. I believe it was in Massachusetts, where some school district supposedly is dividing up the teachers and the students by color, by race.
I could just shake my head. You can see where that's going. You can see
yeah.
where that's going.
Yeah.
That is causing division.
But I think the bigger picture is that these Democrats hate this country and they want to do everything to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has been one of their biggest things for years now, is getting at the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So this critical race theory, all the LGBTQ stuff that they're pushing in these schools, the kids that, I mean,
this stuff never worked.
so young.
Marxism and communism is a proven failure.
Yes.
This has never worked. You know, and you segue into the LGBTQ community as you did. They was having somebody asked me, "Did you watch the BET Awards?" I said, "I ain't watched that in 20 years." I mean, I mean, where you might be scratching
award shows anymore.
Yeah. You might as well be, you know, scratching on a chalkboard with your nails. I mean, that's how bad it irritates me. But this one little fella named Nas X, he come out in a dress, and they had this big old scene, glamorous scene where they were doing. They start men kissing men in front of the kids. See, it's all about that. You take the children and there's a future.
Yeah.
And that's what the parents are so necessary.
So they want to try to normalize this stuff. That's why they do stuff like that. Make it as normal as possible. You know, this we're at the very tail end of Pride Month, right? And you know, look at the things that was on TV. I mean, Nickelodeon had what was that, Blue's Clues or whatever, where they had, you know, a drag queen out there. You know, it's called cartoon, a drag queen out there talking about all these different, you know, family types and all this kind of stuff, non-binary and all this, and it's like that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
They're trying to normalize all this stuff to the kids.
I don't know if I told you a couple of weeks ago. I went down to my hometown for the 19th of June, and
that's another subject we got to talk about.
Exactly. We set up in a certain section, but since they done federalized the 19th of June, here comes the so-called white liberals all up in there, and I've noticed this. You know, no one is paying any mind to me. You know, I'm trolling. You know, so I'm over there. I'm making a big pot of gumbo on the fire, hot fire. Here come two white liberals over there. Check over there. Excuse me. We over there going to give a history on the history of Juneteenth and Great Pride Month, and they had a flag, 19th of June flag with pink in it, and they even co-opted The
That's a Juneteenth.
Juneteenth and the homosexual issue is the same issue. Okay, tone it down. But anyway, so I said, I had to bite my tongue. 'Cause I'm like, look, I said, I'm trying to have fun. I'm not trying to get into politics today. I said, but I will forewarn you that I'm conservative. And I just want you to know that. Well, hey, what you are? And then they start handing out how much they're running for city council, and they brought all that politics right into the midst of these people's business. And I'm like,
Wow.
like the old saying, get thee behind me, Satan,
Oh,
because I'm trying to hold my tongue, man. I'm like, man, if you don't take that up the hill or down the road. So this was the whole that just gave me pause to understand this was the whole um, what you call it the whole method behind them thinking they took over and then prior they get a whole month. Juneteenth one day, and I ain't heard nobody talk about it. That maintains the 20th. I ain't heard no more about Juneteenth. It just blew through. But the whole month was dedicated to that LGBTQ community, and they have took and the 19th they had a flag with a pink and a happy 19th with a pink flash through it. And the sad part about it, Mark, is so many of us black folks just either they just don't get it or not paying it no mind, or they support it. I don't know which one. Me personally, I'm under aspect that they don't get it. They don't know that they're being
yeah,
hoodwinked.
yeah. Being used, being hoodwinked. Exactly, exactly. Uh, so we had a conversation about Juneteenth. Elmo and I have talked about it before, and he, in one respect, you got to understand that most people outside of Texas, and especially most black people, unless they visited Texas, have friends in Texas, have relatives in Texas, for the most part, wouldn't have had a clue what Juneteenth was.
Correct.
I've met several that have moved from other places. I remember it was one young kid that we worked with out there. We worked together. That he was from Mississippi, I think, and they all started talking about Juneteenth. He's like, "What are y'all talking about?" I had no clue. Me personally, I don't. I don't so much mind if they want to put out another holiday, whatever. But why shouldn't it be a holiday about Emancipation Proclamation? I know they don't want to do that because they don't want to honor Abraham Lincoln.
Exactly.
They're trying to pull down his statues everywhere now.
Political.
Yeah, it's totally political.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he signed that on a certain day that freed them all.
Mm-hmm. Funny you say that because I thought about that too.
So if we're going to make a holiday, why not make a holiday
actual law,
the actual day the law was created,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to when a certain group happened to find out 2.5, 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
They finally found out, and as far as Texas is concerned, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
We celebrated here in Texas, okay, fine, because that's when they found out here. But make that a federal holiday and not make a federal holiday out of the actual date of a federal law, which I think it was in September.
That's pandering.
I don't know. Yeah,
it's pandering.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm. It's pandering. As far as I can remember, we celebrate this here in Texas, and I met people from Indiana, Michigan, and other states that just look dumbfounded. And so until the politicians, they use everything as a cultural battering ram to beat over the heads of their opponents and act like they are, with their virtue signal, like that they so concerned. Like I say, that incident that happened a couple of weeks ago. I saw it coming, to be honest, because I saw them. They were doing stuff that I've been going to them things for quite some time, and I saw since the federal got made it to the holiday. Then here come the politicians and the other groups that act like they so concerned. Never prior before this last 19th of June, I never seen that type of involvement to become political.
Well, see, it's that whole world they call the whole world. It is a world. That intersectionality.
Okay.
where all that
Yeah, that's
woke,
exactly
all
what's
this
happening.
woke garbage meets up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, oh, we got these, and we're gonna put this together with this, and
Yeah,
just make
and
things
then
worse.
and then they masterful about handing out and all the time weaving in their agendas. You think about like Cinco de Mayo and things that the other races celebrate. They have such great times amongst each other without making everything political.
Right.
Festivals here, fest there. The German fest or the Cinco de Mayo or whatever, and they don't have to be a federal holiday. People like
No.
that's what I think. What some of the black conservatives crisscrossed it with each other and started having different opinions. Is they don't understand that we can agree to disagree, but at the same time, we don't need the government in everything we do. But the government has taken to me now. This is a black man talking. He have taken over the black man's plight to make him think that he's his big brother or he his father, his God, that he can steer him better than they can steer themselves. And somehow we allow uh, him to put his foot or his hand in our pots all the time before a little measly hand out. So again, that's Big Brother. That's why we the inalienable right guys. If I can get around him as much as I can, I'm a legal, law-abiding citizen, so I ain't saying nothing that's
No, but
you
it's so much overstepping of bounds by our government, and so many of these people that you're talking about have no clue, and they keep pushing for more government,
Mm-hmm.
bigger government,
Yes,
and they
sir.
don't
Yes, sir.
understand that this is eventually, all this stuff that you see these regressives, pushing for,
And I
all this
regress.
censorship garbage, all this other stuff. It's amazing how you're seeing it now. More too is all this stuff is coming back to bite them as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Cannibalizing each other.
exactly. They're cannibalizing each other, but also the government. Because there was a group the other day. I don't remember the name of it, but it's an anti-right group. I think it's on YouTube or Twitter, one of these things, whatever. They got banned. And it's
Yeah,
like,
I heard of that.
guys, eventually you do the things you do. Eventually it's going to come back and get you. And they don't realize that they keep pushing all this stuff, pushing all this stuff. So along those same lines, I'm sure you heard about Tucker Carlson
Yeah,
talking about,
and it's
and I don't watch Fox a whole lot, but I watch Tucker a few occasionally, but I did watch the segments they did because I heard about it from other people that he did on the NSA
mm-hmm.
spying on him. And
Yeah,
I'm sure they spy on every one of us.
exactly.
And Dan, that's Big Brother watching, every one of us. And eventually, they may start with Tucker, but it'll weed down through everybody.
Mm-hmm.
One of the this socialist garbage, Marxist garbage that's being pushed.
Yeah,
Um, Look at what's going on in China. They have the social credit score. How fast do you think the NSA could take? Okay, we see all the texts that you do, all your phone records, all this garbage, everything that you put on social media,
mm-hmm.
and turn around and say, okay, well, because of that, we're going to give you this score. Oh,
Right.
you don't go along with the government. You don't go along with their narrative. Oh, you supported the January 9th thing, right? So okay,
That's another story.
that puts you down at the bottom. Your social credit score is down here at the bottom. You know, I mean,
And something else about the government and all this massive spending. It's directly affecting the poor. I saw a funny meme
oh
on
yeah,
I saw a funny meme on one of the social media sites, and it says they call the stimulus. Black folks call it stimmy. So you done got three stimmies and had all them crab balls, and then didn't fix your air conditioning. Now you about to ball. You know, you should have took that money.
yeah,
See,
you're right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you should take that money. I mean, it ain't nothing free. I would talk this part like how my mom, my dad made this
Mhm.
extensively permanent, my indelible impression in my heart and mind that ain't nothing free. I don't care if it's hand down, they give it to you and look free. This government is not giving you nothing free, and it's all this massive dead. Of course, they're gonna try to tax the wealthy, as they say, but they can move their money offshore. They can
Yeah,
put
they
their
ain't
money, they
taxing
get a
them.
tax write off and everything. But the poor man, uh, the prices on gas and food and all this VAT tax that they never see, this value added tax that they sneaks in on all these products.
Hmm.
They don't have to just get up to the cashier and say, okay, that's $17 worth of tax. Now they just put it in there and then still charge you that tax on that money.
Yeah.
Well, this has got the as the old boy said, the chicken's got to come on the roof.
Well, and the bad part is they just printing money like crazy too.
That's exactly what, and they
You
don't they
know,
don't make it. They don't
and
earn the
and
money.
and poor people, not only are they having to pay more for all these products, but at the same time, they're printing all this money. That means the money that you got out there and circulating out there is getting more and more and more and more
Devalue.
worthless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. Right
And
now,
they're
I mean,
just pushing you right on down.
I was at my dealership and I was just waiting on them to oil change yesterday, and I got home and looked in the candy machine, and a Snicker bar was $1.35. Hey, y'all, for real? I mean, I'd rather drink
Dollar
y'all free
35.
coffee and y'all free donuts. I ain't going in that machine. And everything wasn't nothing under $1. Whether it
Yeah.
be just a little peanuts
Yeah.
or something small. So you're right that money is being devalued so in a
So
massive way,
fast.
and that's what deflation. And then they're going to turn into what they call hyperinflation or inflation, where everything's got to double and triple just to recoup that gap. I mean, these are logic. One thing I know, and I know Thomas Sowell. Anyone
Yeah,
that's
it's the time
conservative
soul.
don't quote don't like Thomas Sowell. I don't know what to say. But one thing about coming up in the black community, I always tell when I get to being an elder. Now I take that role serious. Not as far as I take my pastoralship serious. Don't get me wrong, but the leadership, the example I want to set with other young black folks that's coming up, that stop them from that victimhood and to stop them from thinking that something is free and to even work out deals with them, give them a little something and teach them how to pay it back and get the satisfaction of value. These things that I love to teach them, but the government ain't got none of that for you.
No, no, no,
No,
no.
none
Well,
of that.
it's like that. If
That
I'm sure you've seen that guy that King Randall. Out in, I think he's in Atlanta, something like that.
I think you
And
mentioned
the what they calls it, uh, ex boys or something, whatever it is, I don't know. But anyway, and I can't remember the name of it. But he's been teaching them all these, teaching them trades, teaching them.
hmm
The other day I saw an article where he was talking about a couple of the boys that he's working with want to be architects. So he took them to architect there in their town
hmm
and set them down and said, okay, and they're wanting to build uh, some houses. I guess kind of like a Habitat for Humanity type of thing or something. I'm not really
hmm
sure. But he said we're going to teach these boys, how to do it. Have this guy teach them, the ins and outs of architecture and how to design it and all that kind of stuff, and actually have them, design these houses. That's awesome. You
Exactly.
know, teach them how to do all this stuff. These
It-
kids, I
man, that's
mean,
great.
it's just insane that they don't get that
Exactly.
from a regular school. I
And
mean,
see,
they
it's back to that
can, but it's
CRT,
not.
Mark. It's
Yeah.
back to that CRT. You sitting here, got these people's focus. When I was coming up, you had the option. You can be in future homemakers of America. You can be in mechanics. You can be in farmers, learning how to farm. They had trades inside the schools. Not all this focus on skin and focus on, who can use certain bathrooms. All this uh, frivolous social thing. They literally gave up. Now, my mistake is I didn't take up mechanics, and I didn't take some of these things when they was offering them. They were valuable. I look back,
Yeah.
when somebody say, I know this word MAGA, making America great again. To me, that was a great time. I just didn't take advantage of it. Now they don't offer these programs in school anymore. They offer all kinds of things, alternative
Yeah.
lifestyles in
Hmm.
class. And this is what the CRT is, a great diversion or a big diversion. And I forget what they're going, but they're going to repackage it because
Oh
it's
yeah, they're
getting so.
talking about that. They're going to change. It's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just going to
Semantics.
Yeah, exactly. Just changes words, and that's what they do all the time. They're all the time coming out of, saw another thing yesterday, day before about, things that you can't, things, and there's another list of things you're not supposed to say. Like you're not supposed to say, "Oh man, you're killing it out there."
Oh,
You can't say killing because that's bad connotation. So you can't. It was a list of stupid stuff like that. I'm just like, never ends. They just continue. But that's that's all to create that narrative, keep that narrative going, keep the lies going. And change the words to where it fits whatever they want.
I mean, it's just unthinkable the direction some of these terms are being used and being accepted in our society. But it's the leadership,
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Well, and then just what I just said about the lies. Just today, I saw a deal. They're coming out, where Jen Psaki, she Psaks,
yeah,
uh,
she's drinking
talking
sake.
about how some people think it's Republicans that wanted to defund the police.
I mean, just a year ago, these people were saying this out of their own mouth. Even
Yes,
Jim Psaki was saying it.
all of them, all these Democrats were saying, defund the police, and now she wants to get out. Oh no, it was the Republicans that want to do that. What?
And sometimes, I think why you and I get along so well together because we thinking man. Because you can't tell me something and come back 6 months
Yeah,
later
say
and
I didn't say that.
I didn't even imply that. I didn't even imply that. Where you get that from? And or try to even accuse me of lying.
Right.
I mean, these people, their base. I'm sorry to say it, their base have been dumbed down so much that they won't call them, they won't challenge them. Won't challenge.
No. I go right along with it. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. It was Republican.
That's a great idea.
What? Yeah. Who was it? One of the people I watched today was talking about that. And said, yeah, the media and the Democrats get together, mainstream media and Democrats. What are we gonna tell today? Oh yeah, it was the Republicans that wanted to defund the police. You're out of your mind. And you go back and roll reel after reel after reel because one of them did reel after all these Democrats.
And I never thought I'd see the day that our whole entire government has been so infiltrated with this you call it progressive, this this liberal stuff that I mean from the generals and the Pentagon.
Yeah. Well, I figured we get to the general too. There, white rage. I want to know what white rage
Man,
is.
I was a black Congress, I was a black senator. So I said, man, don't you know you're white? Don't you? You do know you're white. No, you do know that. I mean, give one of my staff, bring a mirror. Show that man something. Look, that's what that white rage at. You don't you know? I mean, who does that? Your grandkids, your children. What you want to know what white rage is? Why all of a sudden this year? What you been for the last? You've been in probably the military for 50 years. What?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You still don't know. And then you want to talk. I read books by Mao Zedong. I read books about Hitler and Stalin. So I need to find out things. Well,
and that's fine.
Yeah. Any justification,
that is fine. There's nothing wrong with reading these things, to understand, the other side, how they think, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to believe in those, in those things. But it's a good idea to understand, especially like Karl Marx and some of the stuff and his successors, all the stuff that they believed in, the stuff that they talked about, what they were teaching, and so that how to combat that. But at the same time, yeah, what he said was
because see the military needs to be the lethalest force on the planet, and we as a United States, we have to be trained in the art of fighting, and we have the confidence of our fellow man, the warriors, our soldiers. We have to have the same mindset. So when you throw in the CRT and you throw in all these white rage, as you say, and then you try to weed out, patriots or patriotism. By the way,
exactly.
Let's segue into the flag.
Yeah.
You're trying to mess with Old Glory now, and and these men that fought and gave their life over a century, protecting our country, and all of a sudden they're irrelevant. All of a sudden the flag means something else, or we need a diverse flag, or we need to change. There's a flag, oh glory behind us right there. With that the red, white, and the blue. And to see the Olympians, and it's coming back to the schools and the colleges. They doing it. They are. I think they are starting to reap all the indoctrination because I don't never recall it being at this level. So you might see one protester or one person out there that has some just one bananas, from the tennis stars to the basketball players. I heard a statement where they, chose the basketball players for the Olympics, and all of them
They
are
want to
black.
be all black team. Yeah.
And but they had to choose one white person, and then
That make him
so
a token.
that's what the one of the NBA stars said. They just threw him in there to be a token. I mean, don't you want to win? Don't you want to represent the United States? You want the best of the best, and can you, for a split second, take race out of this and put competition? Because most of these people, this is something I learned about the politician, and I see it so regular. It might be just my third eye, but I see like president or the Congress or senator go out and throw out the first pitch and can't get the ball. I said this before, can't get the ball past their feet off them. They are unathletic. We have great athletes, but when you now the NBA player coming out of the game, I mean it's NFL players,
Yeah.
and now the secret is starting to unwind. The NFL is starting to run gay commercials and transgender commercials and stuff. But now I'm hearing chatter that it's a lot bigger than that one man, and
It would,
I'm believing that.
To me, it wouldn't really surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're going to make a big deal out of that too,
Mm-hmm.
just like they did the BLM stuff.
And then like the left, like Joy Behar or whatever, says one of the most homophobic jokes. She
Oh yeah.
talking about old boy in the end zone giving penetration a new name,
Yeah,
new type, and she gets away. Oh, she just being funny.
I'm sorry.
I said, "No, where's all the
That's
outrage?"
That's okay.
Mhm.
It's okay. If somebody ever, a conservative said that, oh man,
Censored, banned,
yeah,
taken off.
take off Twitter, take them off YouTube, take them off all this other stuff.
Mhm.
We don't want to hear their voice, and that's exactly what they want. They don't want to hear them anyway, but that's just a good excuse.
Right. It demasculating, and or one of our dear friends is going on to be with the Lord, or Rush Limbaugh. He used to say that this. He said this for at least I know 10, 15 years. He was saying that the NFL is one day it's just going to cease to exist because of all the
Well, look at all. I mean,
placating and all the.
exactly, and all this go broke stuff. I
Mhm.
mean, it's crazy. They're all losing money. NBA is losing money. All these things that nobody's watching it anymore because they don't want to see all that garbage.
That's exactly right.
And yeah,
And see,
eventually it's going to
and China is the one that's really keeping them afloat. Putting all the money into their products.
That's why they don't want to say nothing against China.
That's exactly right. And how can we talk about the virus, the COVID-19, without
Yeah.
them listening us and saying we were spreading false information? Because I do want to talk about that too. Because it is something to behold that they still haven't found the so-called bat and penguin connection to make. They still ain't found the source, so it seemed like it would come from another source.
Yeah.
I gotta do like ECP. I gotta my words.
Yeah, exactly. You got to use pseudonyms or whatever just to get around some of this stuff. It's crazy.
Mhm.
It is. It's crazy. But I will go back one thing about the military.
Okay.
I saw a thing the other day. So, there's an article that comes out about China building uh, basically pilotless jets that use artificial intelligence, AI,
Yeah.
to pilot them, and them being more accurate and better than actual live pilots. So they're over there developing this technology, right?
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I guess a week or so ago, they had some kind of our military,
Mhm.
one of the Air Force bases. They had a drag queen show or something at the
Oh. Oh man, oh man, you heard me. You heard me, man.
So while they're over there beefing up their technology,
And
trying to create Superman and all this kind
and
of
they
stuff,
over
we're
here
over here,
trying
you
to get
know.
some beef. Man, this is crazy, insane, and that, and I heard China is leading in AI, and then and Russia just kind of like with them stealth submarines and all that, they just kind of laying low. They see
Mm-hmm. No, they
they
know
see
what's
the
going on
decline.
too.
They see
Yeah.
the decline, and then there's the commander in chief, so-called commander in chief. Man, this guy, whenever we talk to world leaders, he got to have a notepad and a. I mean, I was watching them in Israel leader come to visit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that man was just sitting there all loose.
I'm so glad your daughter's here.
Oh man, we're like, man, get your eyes off my
Oh,
daughter.
you freaky.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, but the mere fact is, this man was sitting there loose and kind of examining him and being himself. And this guy sitting here with the cards, like what I was saying that. What I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is not original.
Mm.
This is not a leader to me.
No.
Somebody is.
We're glad, as you see these idiots out there talking, we're glad America's back. And,
Man,
what?
you for
All these other
real?
people out here are just like laughing at
Man,
us. And that's what they tried to tell me. That's what one of my leftist buddies tried to tell me about Trump. Oh, the whole world's like, no, they're not.
Mm-mm.
Little Rocket Man was over there calling everybody he knew in Washington to find out if
That's
Trump
exactly.
was serious about putting his tail between his legs,
That's exactly right.
making him run.
Putting them.
And he's like trying to find out whatever he could. Is this guy really serious? Oh yeah, he's serious.
Oh, that's serious.
And yeah, and like all right then. But this guy we got now, shoot, he ain't nothing. And they all just they know they can get away with just whatever.
Oh man,
And they are doing it.
they flying all around Hawaii and they
Oh yeah.
pulling up almost to the coast of Miami and fighter ships and all that, just backing up and laughing
Yeah.
and this guy all of a sudden he goes out and shoot a few uh, bombs, direct a few military operations.
Drone strikes probably.
Yeah,
Like Obama.
at some place that's been desolated, for a while. Then all of a sudden, the video, he's showing strength. He's showing strength. And all at the same time, the like you say, China, right now they don't.
But of course, when Trump did that same thing, shooting these guys or whatever, then that was wrong.
No, but Trump was strategic, man.
Oh yeah, he was. But I'm just saying,
he took out one of the world's
when he did it, it was
biggest.
wrong. But
Mhm.
now Biden do it, and it's
Mhm.
like, this is great.
Yeah,
Warmongers, this is great.
yeah,
Why are our people over there getting shot in the first place? Get them out of there.
exactly.
Why are they? Because they started, shooting at us, whatever. So we got to send drone strikes and whatever. Why is our people there? Why is our military there? They don't need to be there. Get them out.
I agree. I agree. Again, this man has no. I guess you say Biden doctrine. What is his doctrine? And then now we, segue into the borders. And matter of fact, Trump is at the border now. He's bringing attention to it. He finally got the border czar to visit.
Kamala.
Yeah, the
See them signs?
Uganda.
You say, yeah, Kamala, the Ugandan nightmare. But you saw when she went down there,
Man,
they showed all those
even
pictures
when
of
she
all
went
the
to
people down
Guatemala,
there, yeah. They're like,
the people
no,
know.
we don't want you here, get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that they came up with that sign in, Spanish, Que Mala, which means basically, how bad, talking about Kamala, how bad she is,
Mm-hmm.
Que Mala.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's
And then,
perfect.
and this is how I know they're fake. They think they strategists, so they always got to. I guess they got Hollywood with them. They got some production company with them to make it look strategically plan out spots that they can go because they don't want to go around with the kids in cages at.
Oh no! I can't have that. They can't
They
have
don't want
her
to go around with.
standing there with all them kids in the background and whatnot. And there's those kids all over the country.
Yeah, yeah, I heard about that. You heard about that story?
Yeah.
This woman that I heard one woman on the bus. She said she.
Yeah, she's driving bus. I heard that just today too. Yeah, where she was driving the bus and busing these kids all over the
And they said, "What do I do with them? Just drop them off."
Well, that's what they said. I heard that before about a week or so ago. They were saying they're busing a lot of these kids in these different places all over the Midwest, Rust Belt, and all that kind of stuff. And once they get there,
There's no way. No, there's no way you can count them. Then you got child sex trafficking.
you know what's going to happen.
and just a lawlessness. People that you put in, amongst law-abiding people that love their states and their country and their rural areas and the whole, the whole United States, America, freedom that the Constitution enforces. Well, you setting these people, and again, we ain't talking about these people. When we say these people, not like we're talking from a racist point of view. We're talking about immigrants that don't speak English, can't haven't assimilated, don't have Social Security, don't know nobody, and you're gonna just throw them in the that's
especially kids.
mm-hmm.
You know,
that is
shuffling these kids off to wherever, and
that's
then
mean. That's cruel. That's cruel, Mark.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but they care about the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it was Trump in office, and they went down there and he's got all these kids in cages, kids in cages.
Mm-hmm.
Now they just letting them out.
Yeah, because
and they're coming in about. And I saw another deal. I think that was yesterday. That was saying that last year we had like thousands coming in each month. Now we got tens of. It's like 10 times the amount coming across the border each month than it was last year. So last year, if it was 16,000, this year it's 160,000.
Oh wow,
coming across.
That's
and that's like every month.
Yeah,
and it's like
they humans like we all humans. They gotta eat, they gotta sleep, they need the basics, and how you gonna accommodate them?
And then she goes. Kamala goes to
the borders are
goes to the border, but she goes to El Paso.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting at.
Yeah.
That's what I was just getting at. And they put
800 miles from where
and they didn't even put her in the worst part of El Paso. They put her. I don't think somebody I heard said she didn't even go to the border. She went at the El Paso, but she didn't go down to the border.
I don't think she did. No. I don't think she did either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But she had to do that because
to make it look good.
Yeah.
Because Trump was going, and
exactly.
they had to jump on him. That's all it was.
And last time one of her left wing, last time one of her left wing, when she got that interview from one of her left wing supporters, he asked her about one of the boys, so she had to put that in her repertoire. So the next time, probably one of these Sunday shows, she'll go up and then she'll be able to say, "I've been to the border." That's all she wants.
That's all. Yeah. That's it. I've been to the border.
Mm-hmm. You can't use that against her no more. Yeah. When are you going to the border?
Going to the border. I haven't been to Europe either.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now. Yeah.
Okay. What you was gonna say?
No. Trump. He's got to be the greatest real estate man in the world. He's a genius. You know why?
Why?
Because he lives rent free in all their heads.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The TDS is real. Oh, it is not, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a trial run. Trump, the Wayne syndrome is real. It is real, man. Look at New York. Yeah. Look at New York, man.
As soon as he said something about going to the border, I'm gonna go now. Yeah.
Something else about this guy, man. I was thinking about this recently because the tax have not waned or lightened up on this man at all, and now the mayor of New York is bringing probably gonna bring charge against some person in his organization, but they can't touch Teflon. They want him bad.
Oh, no. And every time they investigate everything they can find, whatever.
Nothing.
They want to try so hard.
This I'm a commonsensical guy. This would be too evident. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave if that was you say hypothetically of you. I'm gonna leave Mark alone. I done tried. I threw everything in the kitchen sink and then another kitchen sink from another house at it, and he keeps smelling like. Leave that man alone. You ain't gonna stop him if he decide. Look at the rally. If he decides to run again, what can you do? And we sitting here waiting on Arizona, but I kind of got an idea of how it's going to say. And not that it's going to reverse anything, but it's going. I just want this to be. We
can't really talk about any of that stuff. But but there are things going on in other places as well.
Okay.
And I don't care that it doesn't change what eventually, what eventually happened.
The trajectory.
I just want the truth to come out.
Me too. That's it.
Put it out there.
What you scared
Of
of?
course,
Let the
of course,
truth.
they'll come out and deny every bit of it. Oh well, they tampered with this and they tampered with that, and so we can't, you know. Well, speaking of that, did you see the mayoral race in New
Yeah,
York?
that was something. Yeah, man. Now he see what he woke up with 160,000 less votes than he.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we had 130 fake
30, yeah,
votes
yeah.
in there,
Mm-hmm.
130,000 fake votes in there that shouldn't have been in there.
Exactly. Exactly. So what that tell you right there that
And that's,
they're not.
you know, and that's what's so aggravating because the majority of people in this country want voter integrity. And most of the voter laws that are going on, like the ones in Georgia and whatnot, you know, some of those in Georgia, they're not as strict as a lot of the other states,
Yes,
you know. But
and
they're
the president's
we
own
can't
home
do
state,
this.
Delaware.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't do this, and you're taking votes out, you know, from the people of color, and all, you know, no.
And
It's
see,
like I think it's like
it's
80 something percent, 80 or 90%, something like that. 80 something percent, almost 90%, around 90% of Republicans want voting, you know, and then it's like 75%, like three quarters of Democrat people, you
and
know,
I'm glad you,
that
you
they've done polls of, you know how accurate those are, but you know, want voter integrity.
man. I'm glad you said people of color because this this is why I could never. I mean, in this lifetime, a lifetime to come, support that Democrat leftist party because they use black for everything to get they to try to make a point. You know, it's going to affect you. Like you can't get an ID. You can't
Mm-hmm.
get who would they come at? One of the presidents said they can't get a candidate. They
You
can't
don't
get.
have accountants, you don't have lawyers,
You
you
don't
know.
have lawyers.
What?
What he must take you back there with Senator Byrd and all them
Exactly. Yeah.
grand fake
Yeah.
pops that
Yeah.
he grew up with.
Yeah.
What you talking about, man? You got to quit everything. Is you know is not you can't use color to try to cheat all the time. But that's why I'm talking to the black community and how imperative and necessary is wake up. I mean, you know, it's not necessary. We're free, liberty. You know, we're free. We're not.
All I'm holding you down is you.
That's exactly right.
That's the thing. You know, only
Mm-hmm.
one holding you down is you
Because
and what you want to get out there and do.
like you
You
said,
know,
Georgia, I think that's one of the, and in Texas, these are things that need to be done. These are things that prevent this worldwide cheating. I mean, man, just imagine if if they'd have got that one Congress trying to pass that one bill
oh
where
yeah,
so what's it where you didn't need no
for the
ID.
People Act.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
mean for the Democrats Act?
yeah.
That's what that was. It wasn't for the
Oh,
people. It was for the
one
Democrats.
of them said it like the devil wrote it, and and went it come straight out of hell. This bill,
Mm-hmm.
this was going to just obliterate any legal challenges.
You know,
Any
and see, and here's the thing that gets me is okay, they're going to get rid of all the this thing that they were trying to do. Sounded to me like they want to get rid of all like IDs, voter,
yeah,
So what's to stop a whole bunch of conservatives going to some, blue area, like a whole bunch of conservatives just decide, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go down to Austin and
and change their election.
we're going to vote. They're not going to require a signature or anything. So we just going to, or ID. So we're just going to go down there and we're going to,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and what would they do if that happened? They would
That's
lose their ever loving mind.
exactly right. But
You can't do. You said we
well,
could go where you don't need an ID. So,
one thing about us, we honest in that sense. We that's the only thing stopping us is our
exactly.
conscience.
But I'm saying if that if they
Mhm.
what if they did that? What if a whole bunch of conservatives? You know what? We're going to go down to someplace like that, and we're going to just go into these voting places and stand in line.
If they're for the people, like
If they're not going to ask, if that's for the People Act would happen. What's to stop people from doing that?
mm-hmm.
Going in there and saying, "Yeah, I live over here on such and such a street, and yeah, okay, and
And
here,
then they want to do away with the filibuster, and just run everything.
oh yeah,
Just take whoever in power. That's it.
yeah, it's over then, yeah,
One side of government. Yeah, that's a good point of view that you made. What would stop us but our conscience? Because it's just a free fall.
yeah.
And so yeah, man, that's. Mark, I tell you, man, it's so much things in this potluck of things that happen right before our eyes, and uh, so some, God is intervening in a lot of ways. I see it, it's not at man's time; it's at God's time. So that's a great thing. But that's what I had to learn with this last, lesson. I had to learn that. Man. Back off, you can't push no issues, you can't force nothing. This is where we at right now. But I see conservatism still, you know, is coming along. We ain't overly
Well, like I said,
discouraged.
I've said this before. That it's if you look at Europe, so I watch a couple of guys that talk about stuff going on in Europe, and you see some of the stuff going on over there, where they've kind of gone through this stuff, and there is a whole lot of you know politicians on conservative politicians, nationalist, populist politicians that their parties are starting to come into power, slowly starting to come into power in these places because people over there are tired of these stupid, socialist and whatever policies that are ruining their countries. And so they're pushing back on this and they're starting to support these other groups coming in and you're seeing that happen. And like I said before, I think that's what's going to happen here is it just has to get bad enough for these people to see how screwed up these leftists
Exactly,
are and
exactly.
how much they want to destroy this country to the point where it's not America anymore before they start saying, okay, yeah, we're done. And you see that more and more, in the last
That's a
the
great
last year. So
comparison.
you've seen it more and more and more here. But yeah, I think it's going to get worse.
Yeah, I do
As
too.
crazy as everything, we're living in a clown world where up is down and down is up
Hmm.
and the right is wrong and,
And
you
that's the
know,
grand that
truth is
put
fiction.
emphasis on the grand scheme of why they are busting all these people in the, because if they would have got that For the People Act passed at the same time, they throwing out all these people with no names, no assimilations, no social securities, and they was going to be their biggest supporters. So they importing their votes.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of that too,
And
yeah.
I think that's one of the
Yeah, we've said that for, I think a lot of them have said that for a long time.
yeah,
That's
because
what
see,
you know, they, I don't think they can rely on the black vote as much anymore.
no, no,
It's that's changed. That's
I think
changed
so too. But
somewhat
I
too.
think they not even
But yeah,
some, you know, I can tell you my community, black community, and my surroundings and my environment, and you can peel off 3, 4, maybe 5% of people that are all around me that may be listening on it, but the other ones just walking zombies and drones. They just I don't do politics. I don't do. I'm just waiting on my money. I'm just waiting on my. I just want that, whatever the government is promising.
problem with that, you may not do government, may not do politics, but you know what's going to happen? Politics is going to do you.
That's exactly right. That's
Yeah,
exactly
sooner or
right.
later.
Matter of fact, I told them that. Ain't no way you gonna get out of that.
No,
No,
politics is going
how
to do
you gonna get
you.
out of that? And your child come home from school, asking you if he have any kind of gender, and that's your child coming home from
Yeah.
school. So how you ain't politics ain't doing you?
Mm-hmm.
If you because they're gonna send your child home like that.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be parents. I think it was you was talking
Yeah,
about Paul Dobbs one time. You say his
yeah, everybody's friend. Yeah.
friend, not a friend, but the somebody went to college and came back a totally different person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
but now they're doing it in the element.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you used to wait till you get to college when you expect your child to maybe come back. Went to UCLA, Berkeley, or went some big major university and come back talking about I'm no longer Christian or I'm no longer conservative, but I'm just non-binary. You kind of expect that going at that level, but they are starting
Yeah.
at
And
elementary. Mhm.
how would you feel as a black parent to have your child come home and say, well, I'm just not going to be able to do anything. I'm not going to be able to be anything or do anything because, the white man is
Yeah.
keeping,
Oh man,
is
man.
not going to let me do anything. I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to be, yeah, we want to be when you grow up. Well, Daddy, I can't. I'm not going to be anything because the white man's, they're oppressing me, and I can't do anything. I'll never go anywhere. I never do
That
anything.
hurt just to hear it come out your mouth, man. How would I feel, man?
Yeah.
That is
It's like,
disgusting.
what?
Go get at the belt, and then
Yeah, take it to the school,
yeah,
not to the kid, to the school.
I'm taking both of them. I'm with the kid in school. But this is what I'm saying, man.
Oh,
That's again it's despicable to even think of it that
yeah.
your child, I can gauge this from my upbringing. We didn't come challenging our parents at every decision.
I mean, in our generations and stuff, it was a challenge, for you to say, and it doesn't matter really what color you were, just to say, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do what I want to do. I want to be whatever I want to
Hmm.
be, and
Growing up,
growing up,
pain.
yeah, I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be a conqueror. I'm gonna be, whatever.
Hmm.
You know,
When I
and
was
so you.
yeah, when I was a young man, I was a big Elvis fan. And all the blacks you said, oh, why you listening to that white man? He said all the black man can do for him is shine his shoes, and all that. But I saw his charisma, and I saw his especially with the females. I mean, he just
Mhm.
man. If you didn't see that, it's on you. But anyway, and he has fairly good songs, but a lot of people say he stripped them from a lot of black artists. I get that and all that, but at the same time, my dad would deride me all the time. Well, you want come on? He didn't like me to look at that, but at the same time, he gave me. So I know about the growing pains. We kids, we gonna as the generation change, and this is why critical race CRT is so dangerous because as the growth, even with debating with my parents who experienced a lot more than I did of that division and that the integration and segregation and the likes. Even I saw over the years we was making great strides, especially after civil rights movement. We making strides.
Oh yeah,
These people, whoever these people at the top now, they need to be tarred and feathered to try to take us back and confuse the kids, to not allow them to they living in the greatest country, the greatest privileges, the greatest progress, the greatest nation on God's green earth, and to make them say that they're victims or that the white man is after them at every corner, man. I never seen nothing like it, man. This I don't know how we got here. Really, to
yeah,
be honest, like you
yeah,
said about the clown show, or
yeah.
it's a clown car, clown world, it's a clown driving the car. I can tell
Yeah.
you that. Because how we get here, how we even stand for this, and I'm loving it, like you said, that grassroots uprising from these
Yeah.
parents are going to the school and these school boards, man. And some who elect them? The parents, I guess. They didn't know what they was electing them.
Apparently not.
Huh?
Yeah. Apparently not. Yeah.
Yeah. How did they get there?
And some of those parents told them that too.
Hmm.
Said, yeah, guess what? Next time you come up for election, you're out of it.
Yeah.
We ain't putting up with this stuff.
And it's just, but they got so many different ways. I think it was Dan Bongino said that, and sometimes when he said it, kind of irks me a little bit. He said the Democrats are not crazy. I mean, not crazy, but he said they're smart. But not that he agreed with anything they do.
No.
He said it's smart because they keep pushing the goalposts. So
Yeah.
somehow they're coming off as smart because the things they do, like we talking about the New York, not New York, but this Gavin Newsom dude in California.
California.
They done already went to the drawing board after all this been these petitions have been and come up with new laws to try to save this man.
Yeah.
They done passed laws.
Yeah.
How you get away with that, man? It should stop right. You shouldn't even be able to pass another law until we get past this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They already went, and then that Como guy, you don't hear nothing about him in the media no more.
Mhm. No.
How did stuff just go away?
Yeah.
How did stuff go away?
Well, and that's one of the big things that everybody talks about is all these people. They've done all these things. We get into Dr. Fauci. He's another one.
Oh, hey,
Done all these things, and they're still walking around free. They're getting away with it.
yeah.
All these people, and it's like,
Because they're smart
How?
enough. I think they control the
Stick
narrative.
together?
No, they
You know,
control the narrative.
control narrative, yeah.
Right now it's we ain't got into the hunter.
Hmm.
But they control the narrative. So now it's about Giuliani
Yeah.
and
And,
Trump organization, and
that's nothing but a witch hunt there, Giuliani.
that's
You
exactly
know,
right.
I'm
Because
not the biggest fan of Giuliani.
maybe
He's funny. I like watching him, but
yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan
uh,
of him. But at the same time, you can see it's blatant. He's just a witch hunt.
yeah,
You know.
and Dershowitz, he's a big time leftist.
Yeah, he's a big
But
time,
he
but
said he said he ain't never seen nothing like this.
yeah,
Well, you don't even give a man due process.
no, not at
You
all.
just strip him of his
Yeah, just take it
lawyer.
away. Yeah, just because we don't like you and you should go to this guy, you're out. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
There's supposed to be, procedures.
yeah,
No,
trial or
yeah, no
something. Yeah.
procedures.
Procedures, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what happened with Bill Cosby,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, back to the
Procedures.
cars, the cars. They didn't.
They let him go.
Yeah, they said uh, that the case it was thrown out. He done been almost
Jello
two and
is
a half,
Jello
3 years.
Jello pudding gonna reinstate him.
No, from what I heard, I think he's a half blind, if not, you know, dominantly blind. But I think,
Well, he's
I think he could.
83, I think,
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. So he's not a young guy. So
I know the guy is allegedly a perv, but I admire how he stood up to this in a strange sense. He went to went to prison, and he said he was ready to do the whole 10, and they wanted him to confess that he done these things, and he refused to. But I heard that even when he was in the prison, that he was a model prisoner, that he was teaching young men in there and just giving them wisdom and all that. So
that's the biggest thing that I
it's
hate.
very weird how that works.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I hate about the whole thing. And I realize we are imperfect people,
Mhm.
and he did some pretty heinous things. If that's
Yeah, that's true.
what's true, but at the same time, look at all he was an educator. He was um, he had a degree in education
Yes,
of
he
some
was.
sort,
Mm-hmm.
and
Some kind of
so
lawyer.
a lot of the stuff that he did, going all the way back to Fat Albert and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and all the cartoons and different things that he did back in the day about educating kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he hated the whole ebonics thing and all that slang and all that kind of
And
stuff.
that's what started getting him in trouble.
Oh
When he
yeah, they
started
didn't
speaking
like that
against
at
that
all.
stuff.
Yeah, he started speaking against that stuff. They didn't like it. You know. Uh,
So when they talk about systemic racism, it must be on the other side because you
well,
can't,
yeah, that's something because I saw somebody say something. I guess who was it? Mark Lamont Hill. I saw a Twitter post that he put up something about talking about him getting out and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, now wait a minute. Y'all been complaining about the system being racist, and completely racist and all that. But somehow the system's let this black man out of
and y'all
jail,
not happy.
and y'all mad about it.
Segue into old R. Kelly, the R&B star that was pedophile with a lot of young girls. He locked up now, but he done got beat up in there and everything by gang members and all that.
Mm,
So I don't know. I don't think they're gonna release him. But
no,
so now they got OJ's out and their Bill's out,
hell's out.
and maybe them two like I think Bill O'Reilly and Trump is going to start touring again. Maybe OJ and Bill Cosby tour again. Think somebody paid to see him?
Wow. OJ and pudding show.
The juice and Jello, boy.
Juice
I
and
don't know.
Jello.
You know.
The Juice and Jello tour.
what, what they gonna talk about? If I would have did it, I'd have done this. If I would have, I'll be at the hypothetical hour. I don't know, man.
OJ pulling out the gloves. He had that
Bill Cosby said, these things don't get nobody. I show you myself. Juice and Jello show. You know.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, but again, like I like what the comment you just made about Lamont Hill is that's right. Either you're on the left side 100%, or it don't matter what color you is. You're gonna get shredded to bits. I mean, speak from a black conservative, Coon,
Oh yeah.
Tom, no, I mean, look at Clarence Thomas. He's a trooper. He's making the right decision on every Supreme Court decision. He's making the right choices, and they still hate that man.
Oh yeah. I can't
And
stand him.
I can't see it. I can't see it. So you can't win with these people.
No.
I mean, that's why don't. You got to have conviction. You got to have your own conviction, your own beliefs, and you got to stand on something. And so I'm the, you know.
You gotta laugh at some of this stuff.
Oh
It's so
man,
stupid.
yes, yes, sir.
You just, I
Yes, sir.
mean,
Yes, sir.
otherwise it's driving me crazy.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Juice and jelly. Yeah, man. Well, what they gonna do? I don't think Bill Cosby need no more money. I think
T-shirts made up of juice and jello.
Juice and Jello tour, the juice and loose. uh, but yeah, I don't think. I think Bill Cosby said. I think he was a fortune of billionaire before they dethroned him, so I don't think he gonna need to try to make no more money. But I always wonder what OJ doing now. Because I heard that he had got a settlement from that Las Vegas when they got him to go to prison, and then all that money that they got, they gave it straight to Ron Goldman. So he had to pay that out.
Yeah, I don't know. There was something come up here.
Speaking of Nevada, they had the first transgender.
Oh yeah.
But how they get away with that?
Man.
Huh? I mean, how can I mean, go back to that weightlifter, that transgender weightlifter that beat that woman out. Y'all talk about y'all protecting women. Y'all destroying it. And just so happened that one black track star, the only reason he didn't qualify for the Olympics because he had too many testosterone. But otherwise, his level. I mean, come on. Like you said, we gotta laugh at this. How do we accept? I guess it's about acceptance. I mean, how do we fix our mind around justifying this? That we can't say nothing, or we got to go along to get along and agree with it. Remember, I was telling you about this one guy, and I'm starting to sour on him a little bit, but he still tells nothing but facts. But he cussed too much for me, Kwame Brown, and he's calling out all them black elites in the sports that they're tearing each other down in order to keep their number one spot or their number one slot with their systemic racism on the other side. I'm telling you, it's on the other side. Everything that them liberals tell you that you're doing, they're doing.
Okay.
They're doing. They're playing that bait and switch thing on us every time. But anyway,
In spades.
you better believe it. You better believe it.
Pun intended, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They doing it, but Kwame said something that he's so right. He said, being an alpha male, he respect. We don't have many elders, and when I say elders, people that you can just look up to. Oh, I respect that man because he's a man. I respect him because he's a family man. I respect him because he's consistent.
That's what's so sad because somebody like LeBron James would be an excellent example if he
excellent.
would, because he is a family man,
Mm-hmm.
and would be an excellent example if he wasn't out there pushing this
Mm-hmm.
crap.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right.
That's exactly right.
What do you have? Al Sharpton or whatever,
Benjamin Crump.
Yes, I'm trying to think his name. Yeah, George Floyd's lawyer, family lawyer, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then they got mad because they defaced George Floyd's face.
Oh, you knew that was going to happen. I don't know what they're thinking.
What were they at in Portland in the autonomous zone and the Summer of Love? What were they all that time when they were tearing down statues and all that? All of a sudden, you mad? The epitome of hypocrisy just don't cease to amaze me on that side. They don't have no shame, man. They don't have no shame, And again, it goes back to what the Chauvin guy or whatever, the
Mm-hmm.
police, he got 22 years, a little over, and they mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
They should. They won't even have life. If not, the death penalty, which I don't think he was going to get.
no.
But at least they won't even have life.
So when they overreach, they had to go for second degree murder. They had to go for manslaughter or something because they want to, if they would have overreached and wanted that, then they would have probably lost that case. So they had.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he's going to appeal.
Hmm.
Well, who knows? It may turn out to be something like this, Bill Cosby thing, where they turn around and say, "Oh, well, this wasn't right, what they did on the first case." So,
Well, he got a good case as far as appealing because of U.S. Congresswoman got all
well,
involved
Maxine Waters out there
and
yelling
all,
and
and all,
screaming and stuff and all that.
and part of the jury was at some of the anti police
Mm-hmm.
marches, and so
Yeah.
I mean it was
So yeah.
conflict of interest
Yeah.
cases all around.
Yeah.
And this is what happened when you overreach, y'all. When you too zealous. That's why I never let nobody incite me to go into riots or
Mm-hmm.
doing their bidding or whatever. I'd say let's sit down and tell me what's feasible and why you feel this way. Let's talk it out. Then we'll take it to the proper channels. But so often people just looking for opportunity, I guess. And I thought about this too, Mark, with this well, I forget the name. The one that, yeah, I guess they got a hammer throw in Olympics now,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
Thor or something. You know.
Yeah. It's a great big huge ball on a chain, and they just
Oh,
swing
good.
it down.
I mean, and
Yeah,
that's what
that's all.
they put too many acts in here anyway, for Olympics. But I got to thinking that we live in such a woke environment that the media is. If you want to get famous, even the woman got third place. She ain't even representing really,
Mm.
but she wants to make a name for herself. And the person that's second and first place, they just go. You don't hear about them anymore.
Mm.
All you hear about is rabble razzle.
Yeah, and the one that won,
Mm-hmm.
basically set the record
Mm-hmm.
herself, and then broke the record. You know,
That
broke
should be
that
that
world
should be
record.
the
That should
number
be,
one
yeah,
story.
that should be
That
the
should be
number
headline.
one story. Her face on it, on all the newspapers and all that stuff. But no, it's this other woman with her
Yeah.
red and black lipstick,
Uh,
and
and
and she all,
auntie,
she all mad,
and that's the number one story. Now all of a sudden she's gonna be a superstar whenever
Yeah.
it's said and done. She be on the MSNBC and all the as a elder call it MSNBC he all,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
but be on that and all that, and they'll be making her have to be like she. Again, it goes back to that 19th of June thing and the co-op and everything. The black.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to set your heroes. They trying to make
Yeah.
your icons. They trying to make your moderates.
Yeah.
These are the people that you should be looking up to, black man. These are the people that speak for you.
Yeah.
Y'all are a monolithic group. Y'all don't have no say so and nothing else. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
just
This is your
this is your
hero.
yeah.
Brian James and all his garbage. This is your hero.
Yeah. This one give everybody else
Cardi
participation.
B, her music. Oh, this
Ah,
is yeah.
Nas X and his flamboyant Liberace style of and the guy made it on a like a one shot artist or 5 minutes of fame. He could have really took it like you were saying about LeBron. Could have really
Mm-hmm.
spoke. Even nobody. What they fail to realize about us conservatives, nobody cares who you love or like in your bedroom. What they got to do with us? We got to do with the price of tea in China, they say. But when you say you trying to set statements or you trying to cram something or trying to aggravate something or agitate something intentionally, it don't go without being noticed. I noticed it. I know what you're trying to do, and they almost trying to set us off like it is a civil war, when
Mm-hmm.
it's really not. Because again, I like the side I'm on.
Well,
You know,
I'm not saying that, I mean,
I'm telling
if
you.
this stuff keeps going, that
But I'm
wouldn't
saying
surprise
they
me.
don't have no fight.
I know.
Will you be with you gonna want to fight over here with pom poms and batons and lipstick and gloss, or you want to be over here with legal, law abiding.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that,
What,
they're definitely
what,
dividing up the country.
they doing that, but how can they don't understand they being they fighting a losing battle, man. I don't know how to say it without sounding like we're trying to rally
Well,
some.
Biden said, if you're
Gonna
gonna
go to
fight against his side, you got to have F-15s and nukes, right?
and when he had a cannon, he back so old. He's so old. When they put that Second Amendment in there, yeah, I saw what he was saying, and I remember I told you
That's
that was
crazy.
one of the most disturbing remarks I
Yeah,
ever heard out
yeah,
of any leader's mouth
yeah.
in my lifetime. You just
You know,
all but threaten. You right. I see your point. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, it
They
would.
show gunning for it. I
I
mean,
don't want
for
it to
lack of
happen.
a better
I'm not
word.
saying I want it to happen, but I'm saying, they keep denying people and denying people and denying people. And it's not going to be it's not necessarily going to be a race war because I think there's probably enough races on either side.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, who knows? They keep pushing for it.
Like what is it? In the
I think that's what
Bible,
they want.
in the Bible, the trumpet and its symbolism. They blow the trumpet to call the battle. They blow the trumpet to call to assembly, and it has unique, distinct sounds. And I always wonder on that level, who gonna blow the trumpet? How y'all so confused? What you gonna know? What you gonna know the difference between a battle trumpet and an entertainment trumpet? They. I don't.
Yeah, they don't know.
That's what I'm putting my logic on. I just don't think. I don't think they as congealed as they make themselves out to be. They just got so much media
Yeah, yeah,
propaganda
yeah.
and so much on it that's pushing them into like you say that it could be that into the division. It be important because look at a good example of that about the cannibalism is Bill Maher. I don't know if you heard about him, but lately he been making like he been
Well, he's
taking
been
red
calling
pills.
out some of that
Yeah, like
stuff.
he been
Yeah,
red pills or something.
yeah. He's been calling out,
And
and
boy, they
he's been right a few times
I
about some
think
of that
too, because
stuff.
that's one guy I couldn't even stand two words coming in his mouth. But
I watched. I remember this was probably 15 years ago, maybe
Mhm.
longer. But anyway, when I worked night shift, and his show came on late at night when it was a rerun or whatever, and I sat there and watched it. And after I got through, I was like, I'm sitting there going, "What did I just watch?"
Mhm.
There may have been one thing in that whole show that I agreed with him on,
Okay.
and this was before I really even was paying a whole lot of attention to politics.
Okay.
I would just, I just watched it one night for the heck of it, and I was like, this guy, where's this guy coming from? I had no clue.
Mhm.
Of course, now I know, but there have been a few things like this woke garbage and cancel culture and some of these other things that have come up that he has actually called out, and I'm surprised, but yeah, he's actually called out because I think he sees that how ruinous it is
Mhm.
for their side. And he's trying to say, y'all need to pull back the reins a little bit on this craziness because
Mhm.
it's not going
It's gonna
over well.
consume. It's gonna consume.
And
Mhm.
yeah, they're just full speed ahead.
That's exactly like you just said. I mean, lately I've been able to stomach him a little bit, and I haven't been watching shows. I've just been watching excerpts
Mm-hmm.
and some of the conservatives have been playing him, but I could never watch it just 1 hour of the show. But this black lady, she come out against him and just put it on MSNBC or one of them liberal stations, and she just laid into him and told him, most of his panel is always white, and he got away with blackface and the N word, and she just laid into the dude. So I'm waiting for his retort or something, his reply. But they seriously look like they cannibalize each other for a change.
Yeah, yeah,
And it ain't gonna work, like you said, it ain't gonna turn out good. It ain't gonna turn out good for one another. So they don't really have nowhere to run. Again, the reason I like conservatism so much, and I love it actually, because I'm speaking for me, and it's just resonating just like you do. When you talk, when sometimes when me and you talk, that's what we come together, and they're right, brother. But when you talk, man, I'll be like, man, I ain't no fan, but I sure like what he's saying, you know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody's fan. I ain't following nobody, but that stuff makes sense to me.
mm-hmm.
That makes too
Exactly.
much sense. That's too right. Right is right. And so,
Talking about the Trump, and I thought you were going to say something about Trump. It reminded me of something else I heard. And I looked it up to make sure. Do you know Chuck Schumer? You
mhm.
know what his last name means in German? Good for nothing.
Man. That's the most good for nothing, man. And
Somebody said that. I'm like, you got to be kidding. I looked it up. I Google searched it. It's Schumer. Yeah, it means vagabond or good for nothing.
that's what's running like that.
I'm like, wow.
Vagabond, good for nothing. Schumer.
Yeah, I like that.
That's, man, is that not appropriate? That is fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fitting. We got to come over. We got to figure out some other.
Yeah, that's what got me good.
What's that
But
Pelosi
yeah,
stand?
I was like, dude, that's my first thought. What's Pelosi?
Probably pillage,
And burn and
pillage, and
pillage. And
yeah, and desolate. You know,
exactly.
uh, yeah, man, and the power, you know, that they have, man. It's like you said, 15 years ago, you didn't do a lot of politics as much, but as I didn't do it as much neither. But when I started looking at it, and I didn't understand how much power they were.
Yeah, I really think that would have gotten me. Because I never really, like I said, I kind of just watched things were going on, whatever. And I probably always conservative and didn't realize, what that
Exactly.
meant.
Exactly.
Um, but it really was for me when Obama was nominated and all that kind of stuff, and I was looking at all this stuff, and I'm just going, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This man has done nothing. He's a community organizer. He hadn't done a thing. Been a senator for one
2 years maybe.
And they're putting him up here, and all of a sudden, and this was the other thing that got me, is like all of a sudden, oh, he's the first black, blah blah blah, and I'm like, no, that ain't right, because I knew that Jesse Jackson, I think, had run, Al Sharpton had run. He wasn't the first one, and then all of a sudden, all these people were like, especially most of the black guys that I was working with were all voting for him because he was going to be the first black president. They didn't care about nothing else, you know. They didn't care what he said, what he did, didn't matter what his policies were, nothing, But then on the opposite side, I knew white people that were the same way because they wanted to prove that they were no longer racist because they which like they weren't anyway.
And I took a lot of heat for it because I never jumped on that bandwagon at all. Because what I did, like I said, you can research these things. So I think when he was in Illinois, I forget the guy he was running against. He was for the Senate, but he was a black man. And they got the debating, and that dude just ate Obama's lunch right in front of him. He just had him contradicting himself. But then I went even further and started looking at some of his past and saw some of his left wing leanings and beyond, like you just said, it went beyond that. But I did take that into consideration too. That I knew about the civil rights movement and those that came up, through the trenches, and that man name ain't on nothing. But then I go in all these black houses and I see black pictures of him and Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and
I've got George Floyd on there now.
Yeah, shooting pool or something, And,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, for real, that's a great.
That's when I kind of started paying attention because I'm like, why are all these people wanting this guy? I mean, he's nobody. He hasn't done anything, and all this stuff, all this stuff he's talking about is, garbage. I mean, he spoke very nicely,
Yeah, he's a great orator.
Great orator, but at the same time, it's like he ain't saying nothing. Why does everybody want this guy? That's kind of what I started. This is not, this is something crazy with this, and that's when I started really paying attention.
Yeah, and then the rest of the way we figured, I can tell you sometimes that it's funny how history or time will eventually expose things that you thought you knew that you didn't know. And I can tell you, I thought George Bush was better than he was. That's a piece of
There's
man. I would defend that man.
It's like, back in the day.
But that's a piece of garbage, man. Him and all that Barr and all them boys, all that deep state stuff that come through. All them
Look
people.
at Bill Barr now. He's just trash too.
Yeah. And man, I think I would play for a sucker there because I was one of the black men defending that man at every junction. Now I'm looking at historically and the way they gallon of, against 45, man. Where they all these things that they wish list, conservatism, limited government, and second right amendments, and closed borders, and all these things that they politics on that they never could get done. This man comes and do it all of them, and they hate him. How? He completed your wish list.
Yeah,
That's
because put this. They want to have this political machine just keep rolling
oh
down
yeah,
the track like a tank. It just rolling
yeah,
along. This
they're pretty
political
good.
machine. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. They just keep
Yeah.
rolling along.
Building dynasties on the way.
Don't do nothing. And you get fat rich off of it.
Mhm. That's a great point. And another caveat to that is that when Donald Trump went against them 12 men, these was all elite men on that stage, and Donald Trump hurt. I could see Jeb Bush just getting talked to like he'd never probably in his life, his own daddy, mother, and stuff.
Right.
I think they offended him, Carver, and Bill Barr and them all. He was all these that clicked. Donald Rumsfeld, matter of fact, I think he just died today. What was that?
Oh really?
Yeah,
I didn't hear
I
about
just
that.
saw something about it. But all these was George Bush and George Bush Senior and all of them. They had their own little clique too. And when Trump come through, he ran to them how they say like Sherman did through Georgia or whatever. I'll be honest, man. I'm feeling bad for these guys on stage. You, what are you doing? You ain't got 2% of the vote, but you gonna talk about me? Pretty much tell him to step up his game. And he kind of and Kasich and all of them. He just all these guys, like you said, in that political machine that's rolling right now. Donald Trump did something to him, man, that they would never forget.
Yeah. Yeah. Threw RPG right in their game.
Yeah. And
Yeah, just blew them out of water.
Yeah.
No, this is,
Yeah. New day. New day.
And what's crazy is like, you go back and look at stuff that Trump talked about. I was watching an interview he did just not that long ago with somebody, and the guy was saying that, you go back and look at the things he said back in the 80s.
Yeah.
He was saying the same
Dead on.
saying the same thing. Problem with China, problem with Russia, what we needed to do, and what we needed to do here, the border, all this kind. I mean, all this stuff.
Status quo is not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's
He was
time
talking
to
about all
change.
that stuff way back then.
So Joe, right? I seen it. I've literally I seen it. And then and again, like you say, he threw RPG in that machine that's called that political. One side or the other. They building dynasty. If it wasn't for him, I guess Clinton dynasty would have went on, and they'd have moved on up and probably boom Chelsea and the likes and whatever what they was after.
That's another thing that's crazy. You look at that too. All that machinery, how many cogs there are in this stuff. They're all tied together.
Oh yeah,
Biden, his whole administration is either people that were back there, been in government forever,
many people,
and they're all interrelated, all married.
incestual.
Yeah. It's almost like some of these, feudal kingdoms back in the day where they're inbreeding like crazy. But it is, they're all, so and so's, married to this person and this person.
NBC executive.
And the media. That's the next thing. And the media is the same right there with it. This one's governor of this state, and he's, married to this woman who's a senator over here, and her brother works for CNN, and and his husband is working for it's like
and it's in what you call that word you use, intertwined, intersectional.
Yeah,
it's all intersectional because both parties, because Bush's secretary, press secretary, he was married to one of the NBC execs, so they all intertwined, even though they're going under this aspect of separate parties.
Supposed to be separate parties. Yeah, they're married and all this stuff. It's like
They're just on one Democrat side. They all in it.
Swamp.
Yeah, because they used to call Carl Rove the architect, and I believe that, man. I mean, I can't believe how dumb I was at the time, but Now this man is sitting here just wrong about everything, and this one poll watcher, he one of the biggest poll dudes. And I used to listen to him religiously and thought he knew what he was doing. Come to find out, him and McCarthy sharing an apartment together in D.C. and they been, it's all intertwined, like you say, intersectional, and they all Trump did something, brother. What's that woman said? The hell his head, that Griffin woman. He broke me.
Yeah.
He broke me.
Yeah. Hollywood's in on that too.
Yeah, exactly. But Trump broke them, man. I'm telling you, that's why they won't let the men go to this day, to this very moment. They have the kids. I mean, yes, you nailed it.
Yeah, they just cannot. They can't get over it, and they won't either.
No, so this is like Harry Reid said. They can get you from 6 ways from Sunday.
And as much as we, as much as we like Trump isn't the end all be all.
No,
I don't, I people, because idiots on the other side don't say, Trump this, Trump that. No, it's right here. MAGA, make America great again. I don't care who is pushing that agenda.
I gotta have
Trump, DeSantis, Cruz. I don't care. I don't care who it is. America first. That's what bugs me. That's what bugs me.
With you.
Joe Biden out there doing his infrastructure thing, and he's got a sign back there, "Future Made in America." Not the way they're doing things. All this stuff's gonna be shipped to China. Ain't gonna be no future made in America. Ain't be nothing made in America.
But if you look at he's plagiarizing "Make America Great."
Oh yeah.
Because "Make America Great" is talking about the future. Again means coming, pending. This man talking about future made in America. He just all he's doing is just trying to repackage the mega agenda. But he ain't, like you said, he ain't got a clue. He ain't got a clue. He got to deal with these viable enemies right in his face. He got to deal with them Chinese and put them tariffs on them, and quit lifting all these sanctions that we had. Everything was working, and then tying us back into all this globalism and all that he tying us right back into intentionally. I think it was Iranian said we'll get back in the Iran deal, but they told Biden that the only way we're gonna get back in it if we sign something that the future president cannot send it.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of the deal. But how can you do that if you do something like that? Don't you got to go to Congress and legislate and Senate before you can make it a law? Otherwise, it's just executive order.
Yeah.
They want him to just take over everything and dictate pretty much what they're saying. The only way we'll do anything, you want to dictate that this cannot be reversed, and that's impossible under our Constitution.
Right.
So it's crazy the way this is working out. But like you said, it's a clown show, and things are moving so rapid. That's why we call this potluck, because we throwing in everything. We throwing in and a lot of different topics, and hoping that we're just not talking amongst each other, hoping it resonates with people out there that love this country and love what it stands for. The inalienable right guys. It is rapidly moving into the mid part of getting to the 7th month of this 21, and things are moving fast. Things are moving rapidly. But they can plainly see. I mean, we are not. Licking our wounds or nothing. We're seriously trying to come up with some ideals and stay positive. And Mark said he put it so aptly. That they think that we are all about one man. It's not that. I did like his zeal though, and it's you got to check the record. Let the record speak for itself. And so he has that, but we got strong men in the wing.
Put the record out there. They don't want anybody to see his record.
No.
Because then it showed, he actually did some stuff to help us. They can't show it. They can't show that. No.
Who does that? Ban people from for a lifetime from the platforms and everything. Well, that damn Virginia, he coming up, man. He got his own Fox show now, and he got his own podcast. He's been having that for a while. He got it, Rumble, and now it's a pay where you that they banned some of the conservatives why you can't pay through this particular portal. And Bangino then open up a new one itself. So you can't just cause you dislike. Who does that anyway, man? I thought money was a universal language.
Well, that's what's crazy.
Who turned down
They turned
hard
they're
earned?
basically turning down. It doesn't make any sense.
That's what I asked you. You know.
It's just like this here. Who knows? We put this on YouTube. Who knows? They may come out and say, "Oh, you can't post that." Something on here that we said is not right, and you can't post it, and they'll you take it down, right? Which wouldn't surprise me at all. So, I'll just say this here: it'll probably I've been putting a lot of stuff on Rumble, so this will I'm sure be on Rumble as well for that reason.
Right.
But at the same time. They've come out and said YouTube's come out and said they're going to put ads on even stuff that like our stuff. We don't have enough subscribers now to actually make money from the ads, right? Which is what it is, monetize, right? They're actually putting on ads on stuff, for that we can't get the money out of it, but they're going to put ads on there. But like you said, all of these conservatives that they've done stripped off all these platforms. Money that they're losing.
Exactly. And
they don't care.
That's that old cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Exactly.
I've never, when I do business, if I'm selling a product, man, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to sell this product. I'm not trying to, cater to one, my ideology and all that. You got to like me to like something. I mean, and look what's happening to Coca-Cola. I mean, after they took that stance about that voting law in Georgia, I think the governor or somebody moved all the Coke machines out of. That, man, I know that gotta hurt.
Yeah.
If I was, the owner of it, you my CEO or something, or you my top man, I'm a question you. If you want me, you want to have power. You can be smarter than that, man. You took that All-Star game from where they were gonna make hundreds, millions of dollars, and moved it to another section, and then just deprive that section.
Your own community.
And that's smart. That's supposed to be somehow smart.
Yeah.
All these products that they
it's that pandering
woke
It's just like the whole pride thing this month. All these companies pandering, all these different, all these different companies pandering, through this same thing. And yet I guarantee if you look, if any of these companies, especially the big, global companies, have anything going on in the Middle East or China or anything, you dang be good and well that they ain't gonna put no pride stuff on any of the products over there.
That again, it don't make no sense to me to the feature pocketbook. I thought I wouldn't even be in business if I was trying to make money. I thought that was the primary goal of
well, and of course, I watch some YouTube channels that are folks that do a lot of stuff on comic books and games and movies and stuff like that as well, and they all say the same thing. They're all on that same page where all of our movies, all these comic strips, all this other stuff that they're putting all this woke garbage in. It's the same thing, and it doesn't make any sense. And I think we talked about this in one of our other videos. But, they're pandering to these groups. They don't even care about their products, like that stuff. Most of them don't care about that kind of stuff,
exactly.
But they're trying to pander like they're going to get these people to buy their stuff, and they're not. And ultimately, it's just going back to what we said earlier about the NBA and all these others. You're pandering for all this junk that's not helping you at all. You're losing money. CNN, their ratings, they're just
it's just plunging.
Down as far as they can go.
And it's like great, the great concepts are being. I mean, this hatred is real. Great concepts like, for instance, I think it's in Thor. This one guy called Loki. Yeah, he's coming out as non-binary, non-gender. He coming out.
Which is totally not.
What that got to do with the plot and the what make people come to see this? These programs. You turning all your woke. Your superhero. What you ain't a superhero if you're woke. If how can you be a superhero if I'm a superhero? Say I'm superhero. but I got to listen to you before I can be Super Elmo. Then I'm not. I'm just Elmo. I'm not Super.
Hmm.
So they taking the super out of all this
Yeah,
product.
oh yeah, they're and making the most of them. Changing all the men to women.
Yeah,
She Hulk and She Thor and all this
and
garbage.
yeah,
I saw one the other day. It's like the guy was talking about it. It's like like it started with one comment like Hulk, and then a derivative of that to a derivative of that to a derivative
oh
of
man,
that to a derivative of that. So they got this female Hulk that's
that's called morphine.
an Avenger or something like that. Got a red face, blonde hair, a white bodysuit
Oh
on, and she's supposed to be Hulk.
right. And if you come look to me to save me for that, I tell you, I got this. You can go on back. I don't need no superhero.
Yeah, it's like what? I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's the same thing. They're pandering to all this stuff, and it's like, why?
They destroying the product.
You're destroying. Yeah, exactly.
The very concept that keeps people interested, and just like sports we were talking about, people that was like a getaway. That was something they can actually escapism. Escape from the everyday politics and these concerns. It was escapism, and
Yeah, yeah.
they taking this stuff and
And
filtering
it's
it
so
back.
in your face.
Mhm.
That's the other thing. It's like so much of the gay stuff and everything. We don't care. That's do your thing, whatever. But they take these things and they put it so much in your face, because they want to push this woke, stuff.
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't watch that, I mean,
Right.
it's okay if it's, just whatever, but just to have it so blatant,
Yeah.
all this woke stuff, just to be so blatant and so, I mean, you know, half of Hollywood may be gay. I don't know. But
Mhm.
you would think looking at all this stuff that's coming out of there that that half of the world is gay at this point
Yeah, you would
because of
think
all this
that.
stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
when it's just a really small percentage.
And it's
But the
the
way they portray it, and what's
but
bad is just like you said, you're talking about the kids and everything. What do the kids think? These kids look at this and say, well, you ask them how many people are gay. What percentage of Americans? Oh, probably 50%,
yeah.
40%, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And it really they're not that smart when it comes to. I guess I don't know how they make any money, man. I really don't. They
China.
haven't got because you're not that smart when you lost the auspice or the illusion. They ain't even trying to fool us no more.
Hmm.
Just fool me. Then toward the last of the scene, maybe make a reference to something. But y'all start off and finish from
Oh
start
yeah,
to finish
yeah.
to make sure I get that y'all are trying to tell me something. Y'all trying to wake me, make me a social justice warrior. Y'all trying to make me feel like I'm ostracized if I don't get with the program. I mean, they spend too much effort,
Mhm.
and it's become so obvious that they're destroying their own product. Man. Making a hamburger and then taking acid and pouring it all over the hamburger. To you. You just made the great burger. Now let it be a burger. No, you just destroyed it, and that's kind of what they're doing to. I guess I always say me. I'm like a dinosaur. I guess they just waiting on. They think it ain't no. That's why it's so important that you raise the kids. Because they think that once we die off old heads like us,
Yeah.
they got, but they don't never take consideration. Just like God has that remnant that
Well,
will
yeah,
always be with.
and we always know that all this stuff kind of swings back and forth. The pendulum on these political things usually swings
Exactly.
back and forth.
And like
So
you said, they're going to fall.
you see all these woke things going on. Probably the next generation come along is going to look at all that and go, "What are they thinking?
We're crazy.
And then they're going to go the other way. And so I mean, and I hope that's the
That,
case.
that
I
me
hope
too.
it's get rid of this woke garbage and make something. Let's make something good for the sake of making it good. If it's you know uh, whatever that character is, whatever that
Yeah, let's
thing
stand on
is,
its
let
own.
it stand on its own and
Mhm.
not do all this goofy stuff with it just because you think that's gonna
And I agree. And, and,
make
and
somebody happy.
And I tried to stay positive about, like you said, that pendulum
Mm-hmm.
swinging, but it seemed like it's something that's going south, man. Like, I mean, a politician, if y'all don't start changing these institutions, I mean, literally, I mean, you got to break up these
Oh yeah,
conglomerates and
yeah.
these big mergers and that's and hold them accountable. But they don't seem like they have them because the love of money is the root of all evil. So as long as these people think they can shell out all this money, they can shut up these lawmakers. And I think that's what we're in the throes of right now. That they are not even. I don't know how many Senate hearings and Congress hearings that I've seen over the last 2 or 3, maybe 4 years since, especially when Trump, and now even now they bringing all the Fauci's up there. They bringing all the Zuckerbergs and the Gates and all these before Congress, and they lying right in their face, right in their face. No,
And nothing happens.
I know.
And nothing changes.
Nothing happens. So where's my hope that something that something's going the pendulum going to swing back out? That's
Yeah, but like I said, I read about things going on in Europe and what's going
yeah,
on over
that's
there.
the only thing
So
we
I
can look
think
outside of our country.
I think that yeah, I'm optimistic that that's the same thing. We're gonna have to go through some more garbage until enough people wake up and go, man, this ain't working.
Because I think years back, I know it's over 20 years. Russia went through something. I forget what it was, but they were showing how the grocery stores were empty and
Oh
they were
yeah.
going through Russia or something. And
When
if
the
you ever see,
Berlin Wall finally fell, and
yeah,
all those other little countries kind of broke off, it wasn't the Union of Socialist,
exactly.
Soviet Socialist Republic.
Exactly. If we see, these people so soft here, man. If the grocery shelves are empty,
Oh man.
that will change some hearts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because these people are fat and lazy in this country, and then they used to just you know, fast food joints at every corner
Mm-hmm.
and convenience stores. I mean, they go in there, they start seeing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody gonna have to blame somebody. The media ain't gonna keep being able to say, "Oh, he's not. Don't believe your lying eyes."
It's climate change.
Yeah, we got to get to the root causes. Root causes. The root causes for real. What is the root causes?
Wow.
Yeah, man. So they
We don't need cows. We got plenty of milk at the store. We don't need cows. Milk from dummy.
exactly. I think somebody said when you can get eggs from eggs from a rooster and milk from a bull, then you can tell them about transgender. We the only. I was thinking about this, about bland man. I call it bland man because if I write a book, I want to call it bland man, BLAND man, because I was looking at. I've been lately been watching a lot of these animal shows and watching these animal instincts and how they don't have no. We have to put salt and flavor on everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we taught that we had to flavor everything. We are supposedly intelligent beings. But animals eat in. They don't know salt, no pepper. They don't care for. I've been watching lions eat, all kinds of animal hyenas or whatever.
Gazelles and
Anything, you think gazelles will be meal of choice, but they'll eat a boa constrictor, alligator, or whatever.
whatever they can get hold of.
Yeah, but humans, we are bland, man. If we can't season something or something, we can't stand it. And so it's kind of conceptual that we are playing with each other mentally and psychologically on a daily basis, the politicians are the worst. So that's just a theory I'm throwing out there. It's like,
Well, but the media has to season what we're seeing
mm-hmm,
in a certain way.
mm-hmm,
Some of us like it, some of it don't.
exactly. But they got to get
There's a,
that flavor. They got to get that flavor.
there's a spiritual side to that too,
Mm.
because
Sounding like,
yeah,
mm-hmm,
there's some seasoning there too.
exactly.
There's
That's what I get. I think that's what
some
made
of
me start
these
thinking about
some
that.
of these religions they have to put some certain seasoning on things because they think they got that's how they're
And
gonna
we can't take it no
bring
other way.
people
We can't
to
just take it for basic truth,
yeah.
basic, plain, simple truth. That's what conservative is the closest thing you're gonna get to plain basic truth.
Yeah.
Everything else got to be seasoned with something,
Yeah.
some kind of season that make them come along.
I
That's
agree with
just a theory.
that.
It's called
I see
branding.
it. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Think about that one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how
I'm gonna
long.
say, yeah, we've been on for I don't know, almost a couple hours now. We've been going
Well, yeah,
pretty good.
well, you can tell we've been thirsty.
Oh yeah, there's
We've
been a
been
lot of
hungry
stuff
for
said
this.
about. And this is what we do. If y'all don't know this, is what we do on Sundays after church. We'll sit here and talk, for 20, 30 minutes on all this stuff going on, and we just like we're talking now. Just
Exactly.
we just talk about whatever's going on and what we're thinking about. Whatever it is at the time. And so,
We use this platform.
this is kind of our thing. And so this is kind of like I say, when we started this, this is what we wanted to do. Kind of get on here and talk about same things we talk about all the time. Just put it out there and hopefully people watch it and enjoy it and get something out of it and learn something or
Exactly. And again, like you said, we do this weekly, and sometimes it's better we do it now and do it thoroughly because we have a church family that want to fellowship with us, but me and Mark could get in the corner, and you would think we're making a video then,
oh yeah,
you know. And so
the
we,
guys over there talking
yeah,
politics.
exactly. But it's churning so fast. It's churning out so
Oh, it is.
fast, and like I say, this administration we call the same. He's over there whispering and he seems like he can't stop focusing and smelling and on everything. I think the vice president, the woman Kamala, she's on to him because she's there and she keeps her distance. He's a piece of work. But and lastly, in saying that, we didn't get into that, but Vogue and put Jill Biden. Now he had this elegant woman for 4 years that could have made a picture of anybody's magazine, home and garden. It didn't matter. She just had that certain class that would make your magazine
Because she was a model.
exactly would make your magazine sell. But now here you put this woman on with like she got a tablecloth on for a dress and all these pastels and stuff. And but it just goes to show you we know that somebody told me way back when they studied political science. I never did, and I didn't understand it then. That was over 20 years ago. They said it's a lot more of them than it is as far as in the arena of public conscience than it is us. See, sometimes as conservatives, at least I feel this way. I don't feel like I got to challenge everything. I just feel like I need to be right, correct on what I believe. So I can't just go out there and follow and just propagate every narrative, every flavor of the day, or every topic that sounds good just for political points of view. But when we talk as conservatives, that's why we get along so well. Again, we attempt to examine and know what we know, and we want to be on the side of truth
Yeah.
as much as possible. There ain't nobody perfect, no perfect man. So again, we thank y'all for listening to us, and hopefully we get some more subscribers and hit the like button.
Definitely. And sorry about the quality of this if it's not good because, like I said, we had it set up and trying to get it working, and it did not want to work for us. And we had some issues, trying to get together, work schedules and stuff. Made it kind of tough sometimes. So, it'd be nice if this was our regular, thing that we could do. Like some of these guys do this every day or 2, 3 times a week, but unfortunately that doesn't happen. So yeah, we're gonna try to get together and do this, and I'm gonna
And
quit on.
we're gonna eventually get the real
Someday
deal.
we'll, I'll tell you, we've been looking at all this stuff. Someday we'll have some of this nicer equipment and stuff. But for now,
For now, the enabling right guys wish
yeah.
all you well.